No.
Hello, everybody! Zero interest. I have
Yay!
horns because my hair is stupid. Um, so zero interest. Red versus Blue, season 6, because that's the project that we're doing this time.
Yeah.
Season 6, episodes 5 and 6,
Mm-hmm.
because we do them in pairs, which worked out really well for the first 2 episodes, but has given us a lot to work through for this one. So,
So, uh, start of this one, they're going to try to infiltrate the base to try to look at the ship, because they won't. The guys aren't letting Washington and the Blue crew in.
yeah,
So,
because the investigation that you hear about in the voiceovers at the beginning of the episodes is getting a little bit, you know, they're looking into things that Project Freelancer doesn't really want them to look into.
mhm.
So they're just kind of circling the wagons, kind of thing, at the moment.
And so Washington says, "Okay, I'll make a distraction. You guys take that grav lift over there." And they're like, "How do we use this? Just walk onto it. It'll be fine." And so after them pondering of, oh, maybe he'll throw a rock or something,
Hmm.
big explosion, and Church goes, "All right, here we go."
I think he's better
And
at distractions than you are.
Caboose says, and Church goes and runs onto it and ragdolls
Hmm.
for like just ow, ow, ow,
Yep.
ow.
Several
Hits
cuts, yeah. Pretty
That's
good.
always fun.
Slammed straight into some boxes with, like, impact and everything.
Mm.
Which must have been a fun shot to set up to get that to actually do that.
Yeah, it's because the only way somebody ragdolls is if they're dead.
Yeah, so you had to kill someone and then have them die falling into the grav lift.
In the right way.
Hmm.
So,
And I imagine all of those shots are basically just people managing to cam where they happen to land that particular time.
yeah. So he curses it, and the two guards are like, "Hey, did you say something?" There's just a long pause of like,
What?
"What?" So they get in over to the ship. Shelly or something is the name of the Sheila, right? Sheila is the AI they installed into it, and Washington's like, playback. Caboose is like, "Don't talk to her like that."
Yeah, that was a thing. Running joke from the first 5 seasons.
I did not get that at all,
Yeah,
but
he's very attached to the AI. Well, VI, I guess. Training program. Yeah.
so last playback, yeah, they crashed. Bad things were happening.
Pretty much, yeah, that pretty much just sort of sums up that entire 30-second clip of they crashed.
Yeah,
Well, cool.
I mean, I don't think there was anything too much of interest we learned, except I believe South or something was on the ship.
No.
No, we didn't learn that there.
Wyoming, his corpse was on the ship with, presumably with AI. I can't remember.
I don't even know who Wyoming is.
He was a dick. Basically, he's just another freelancer that had an AI. Comes up in the next episode. So, yeah, apparently the ship crashed, and they're like, oh, okay. So the ship crashed here, and then somehow the AI must have just sort of gotten out,
Hmm.
and that's when the infection started happening. And they figure out, okay, that must have been Omega because he's the only one that can jump from suit to suit, like the armor,
Yeah,
which was a thing in the previous seasons. Um,
yeah. I got a bit lost. I was like, okay, jump to suit. AIs can do this. I didn't know AIs were that big of a part in this show.
they weren't in the first 5 seasons. uh, They came up briefly in season 5, like right at the end.
Mhm.
No, actually, tell a lie. They were. There was Omega that was the big thing in the first 5 seasons, and a lot of it was spent with him just sort of jumping into people and taking control of them.
Mhm.
This is stuff I probably shouldn't be telling you for the sake of the experiment. Oh well. Yeah. This is basically stuff you're getting told in this episode anyway, if in very clumsy and quick exposition.
Yeah, I gathered there was Omega was an AI and everything, but it's I still kind of was like it's hard to keep interest when you're trying to piece together things you never saw.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with this episode of me just trying to be like, okay, so that happened then, and this happened then. And I'm just trying to form a sort of a basis of context for the events happening.
Yeah. So, Omega fucked up all of the blue troopers in the base, then moved on to red base, etc. And then, seemingly, no, that's when the Meta attacked, which was what was talked about in the first episode, and killed everyone, took the AI.
So they go and
then Washington gets a recovery beacon.
yeah,
That was the next thing that happened. Gets called and says, "Hey, there's a recovery beacon." Yeah, I know, just heard it. And they're like, "Okay, it's South Dakota, and it's basically exactly where you just were, because we wanted to reuse the map."
mm-hmm.
And like, oh, she's in trouble because she's wounded. Yeah, she's in trouble, all right.
All these people are named after states.
That was the specific, naming convention that they went with for the project. Yes.
So they head over, and South Dakota has a shield around her as this figure in the white armor, who I now know is the Meta, because it wasn't explicitly said before, is trying to break through, presumably to kill her and take her AI. Because this thing is, I guess, like some sort of Ultron AI devouring, gotta improve myself type thing.
Pretty much correct. Well done.
Yeah, I guessed it. Yay!
Kind of, yeah. It's something like that, yes.
So South Dakota's like, okay, I'm just gonna send out my AI once the shield goes down.
Yeah, just gonna drop my AI, drop my equipment, and he'll go for that, and he'll take you, but I'll survive. And Delta the AI is like, could we not do that?
That's not a good idea for me personally.
Also for you, because he's just gonna get stronger if he takes me. But she said, "No, shut up. We're doing this." Well, in AI speak.
Just as she drops the shield, Washington and the Blue Crew come by and begin engaging in battle with the Meta. Well, South Dakota tries to run away.
Well, says, "Don't let her get away."
Caboose, she's our friend. You need to help her.
Okay.
Got it.
As she got in the way while I was trying to help her.
And so she goes down, and they fight the Meta, who can basically just turn invisible at will and also stop time, because apparently Wyoming could stop time.
Yeah, that was his equipment, and cloaking was Texas's equipment.
Stopping time is so powerful.
Yeah, it led to some shenanigans in season 5. Yeah, time-space duplicates was a thing that happened. Anyway, so it goes invisible. And Church figures out, oh shit, that means it definitely has the time displacement thing because it found Wyoming. So runs out and tells them to cover him, which
throws a grenade right at the wall. Caboose.
And
the wall got in my way.
Catchphrase. This is the thing that Washington says forever now. It's the worst throw ever of all time. The worst X ever of all time is his catchphrase, forevermore. Yeah, it's a pretty good moment.
And so they jump up, explosion happens, Church tries to go with rocket launcher, but again, time stop. Yep. Doesn't work.
Stops the rocket mid-flight.
Takes out its gun and is going to basically kill Washington, but then it has a glitch or something, and it disappears.
Notice something about this, but I cannot talk about it because it's like spoilers for future stuff.
I'm guessing that the whatever this meta is, it probably has a basis in Washington's original AI that went insane, and that's why it targeted him specifically. Just a guess throwing out there, because we find out in this episode that Washington had an AI, but it went mad and caused him to kill a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, it went mad. It didn't, it didn't kill anyone, but it went kind of nutso in his head and caused some problems for him specifically, and yeah.
So they go over to South Dakota and take the AI from her, and Delta's like, she's kind of...
One of you guys needs to take it, because I don't want to, because...
Oh yeah, Caboose takes the green man into his head.
I like meeting new people.
And so Delta, the AI, is like... So she tried to use me to try to buy herself some time to live, and basically...
Much like she did with you previously, which was in the prequel series that I was sort of about showing you. Because
she's a bit of a backstabber. You might want to take care of her now.
And she also did the same to her brother North, because it's North and South Dakota.
And so Washington's like, all right, that sounds like a good plan to me. And then she's like, what are you going to do, shoot me? Kind of thing. And he's like, yeah. And he shoots her in the head. And Caboose is like, I can walk fine, because it's just like she can't walk.
Just want to make sure everyone knows that I have no problems walking.
Yeah, interesting. There's still a lot of history here I feel like I'm missing. I'm getting the basic gist of things from these two episodes. But at the same time, they'll throw out a name or two names, and I'll be like, I have no context for who that is, and why can this equipment stop time? Why wouldn't everybody have an equipment that can stop time?
Because it requires an AI to run it. That's not really a spoiler. You can't run it without an AI because it's so fucking complicated. And AIs are difficult to get hold of, in general. Just in the Halo setting. That's a thing.
This equipment is just stand powers.
Kind of, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, in like 2, maybe 3 recordings of this, you're either going to be so much more confused than you were in this episode, or you're going to figure out the ending of the series immediately.
Probably a mix of both.
Could be.
So
feel free to let me know when you theorize so that I can take my headphones off, in case you get it right. Because if you get it right, I'm just going to have a huge grin on my face.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's it for these 2 episodes.
Pretty dense, and
there's some parts that still make me laugh and smile, but I'm not too sure if I were on my own I'd continue watching, simply because a lot of stuff's happening that like once it starts to get to the point where I have to figure out what's going on I have to figure out what's going on, because normally whenever I do something, I usually start right at the beginning.
Hmm.
So jumping in the middle like this is highly unusual for me.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of when I'm putting things together to try to get some context, and I don't know who characters' names are, I'm thinking of, I wonder who that character was, instead of enjoying the jokes. Is what ends up happening.
Yeah. So, what will probably be really useful is like a recap video of what happened through seasons 1 through 5, just to very briefly go over the plot significant moments that happened, and
Yeah.
that's all. Like, I feel like a lot of the ones that try and do that just end up, and then this really funny thing happened that has no context whatsoever, and that was really funny, and misses the entire point of doing such a video. So, yeah. Oh well. So, yeah.
See you guys next time, I guess, with episodes 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Bye.